Now, you also have to, as a leader, inspect what you expect. So here's the thing. If your training is online, like we're doing right now through a webinar or a teleconference, you need to have a quiz for them to complete so that you know that they are understanding and they're comprehending the information that you put out there. You need to inspect and find out were invitations sent out for the grand opening. You heard me mention at the beginning of the call, or when I was talking about the interview, things I took a hostess packet. Why? Because I wanted her guest list. I would have her guest list mailed to me, and I mailed invitations for her grand opening. Why would I do this? Well, number one, I was a control freak. Okay? Number two reason I did this is I wanted to make sure she was inviting a lot of people to her grand opening, because we all know the more she has, the more she's going to sell, the more she's going to book, and hopefully she's going to have some leads for coming into the business. And if I know, and I also know that the invitations are getting out on time. So I mailed the invitations for her grand opening, her launch party, her debut party, whatever your company calls it. It's her first show to announce her business to all her friends and family. You also want to inspect, are the parties booked, and do the host have a hostess packet, okay? And then you want to make sure she's returned her observation party form. And the long-distance recruits, they can watch that party video, but still, you know, you create an observation party form that makes them answer questions based on watching that video. Do you want to send out dumb recruits who don't know what they're doing, or do you want recruits who know what they're doing, who feel confident, competent, and ready and willing and able to get the sales and the bookings? Okay, here's some of your responsibilities as a direct selling leader. We all know you got to sponsor. You've got to sell. We've talked about doing parties. I still think it's a minimum of 2 parties per week. I don't think it's too much. It's 8 hours out of your house gone, and I think anyone can do 2 parties per week, and you will actually find that your business becomes easier because you don't have to set up times to train your people. You will already have training grounds. And by the way, when people say, well, all my team is long distance, I want to know why. Why? How can you go to a party after party after party in your own hometown and not recruit anybody? If that's happening, I'm going to tell you right now, you better find out why you're not sponsoring people at your parties. You should always be sponsoring people at your parties and taking them at tag-along parties to your next ones, okay? Your responsibilities are to develop new directors. That's your support system. It goes back to the beginning of this webinar, your support system, getting people, you know, training them to do what you do and getting them to do it on a consistent basis so you're not doing it all yourself. Coaching, you need to coach your people, but you know what? You don't have to coach everyone. There's certain people that you're not going to be working with after they're 6 weeks in the business. And in this boot camp, you know, we're going to show you who are you going to be working with and why you're going to be working with them. We're going to show you how, you know, your responsibilities are to motivate and inspire directors and help them grow. Here's some leadership activities, and some of the, this is what I feel now. This is to make big money. Remember, this whole webinar, this whole series is a complete system to make big bucks. You can ignore any or all of these leadership activities if you don't want to make big money. But if you want to make big money, these are what you have to do. You have to hold parties, and I suggest you hold 2 per week. You need to prospect, you know, which is finding people to talk to. And the best place to do is at your parties, but you're also going to be networking. You're going to be out and about. You could be doing it on the internet, you know, on Facebook and stuff, okay? But you need to prospect and find people to talk to. You need to interview. Remember, interviewing is the activity. By the way, I got to tell you, recruiting or sponsoring is not an activity. That's the result. The activities that you do to get the recruits are your prospecting and your interviewing. Those are the 2 activities that you do. Actually, 3 of them. You hold your parties, you prospect, and your interview. Those are your activities, and your result is your recruit. That's your result. That's not the activity. That's the result that happens. Okay? Then you have to train, and you should have scheduled ongoing trainings. If you want to, here's the thing. When somebody says, well, do I need an ongoing system for training? I said only if you expect to recruit and, you know, or sponsor on all the time. If you only want to sponsor once a month, then you only need a once-a-month training. If you want to, recruit and sponsor people weekly, then you better have something that's weekly, whether it's all, and whether it's done by webinar, teleseminar, or live trainings, you've got to have something that's weekly. You need to mentor your people. You need to schedule it ongoing. We've got some great systems I've been sharing with the people who attended boot camp that's really helped them schedule their mentoring activities. You need to educate your team through monthly meetings. You need to keep your team informed through monthly newsletters, and you need to develop new leaders. The easiest way to do that, again, is that future leader system. Here's the thing you need to remember. You need to do it yourself. You need to delegate it and to get it done by someone else, or you need to hire someone. Don't be afraid to hire people to do the jobs that are minimal, that you can get minimally done for a lot less than you're worth. Okay, I guess that's how I want to say it. Okay, I knew as a direct selling leader, I was worth about $150 to $200 an hour. Now, writing up my invitations or writing up my parties is about an $8 an hour job. Why would I want to, if I'm making $150 an hour as a leader, why do I want to do an $8 an hour job? I didn't. So I hired that part done so that I could focus on my $150 an hour activities, leadership activities. And this is where a lot of people, I'm going to tell you right now, I have not seen anyone that's making big money in direct selling that does not have support people in place in their office. Okay? And even if it's just one person coming in a couple times a week, I have not seen anybody that's making big money that does not have some type of support in their office. So you need to do it yourself, you need to delegate it, or you need to hire someone. And sometimes you can hire your own family members, your teenage daughter or son, to do your invitations and things. I hired somebody my first year in the business. I already was paying somebody. I knew I did not like doing invitations. I paid someone to do my invitations and to write up our parties because we didn't even log them online. We actually had to write them up and balance them. So I paid someone. I was only a year in the business, and I was paying somebody and always paid someone to do that part of my business, okay? Because that was a minimal task, something that I was not going to, that I could get done for $8 an hour. Why do I want to spend my time if I'm worth $150 an hour? The sooner you give up trying to do it all and create a system to develop other leaders who are going to help you, the more time you're going to have and the more money you are going to earn, okay? So I can show you how to help others make more money so that, if you're helping others make more money, you're going to make more money too. The secret, the answer is in the Leadership Bootcamp, KarenPhelps.com/leadership.html is where you're going to go to. And, you can go ahead and go there now. How to make your new recruit comfortable with having a training show within 7 to 10 days of signing. Well, Susan, here's the thing. You take responsibility for her success. If you continually say things like, I'm going to help you start earning money right away, it all goes back. If you were listening at the interview, when I talk about the interview, how soon do you want to start making this money? They say right away. So you've got to now put on your leader hat. If you're letting your new recruit dictate when she's doing her grand opening, you've just put on the consultant hat again. She's the leader, you're the consultant. She's telling you when she's going to do this business. She's telling you what she's going to do, okay? So you have to decide, and the only way you can do this is to lead them, in the direction of their goals. My job is to help you become, as successful as you can.